Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and now I've got my second express passenger train. I can start thinking about how I want to amend it further, and it occurs to me that I don't really need two locomotives on such a short train, so really what I want to do is amend the second locomotive and make it into a cab car. So first of all, what is a cab car and why do we need them? Well, if you imagine a large train going between two major cities made up of, say, 16 units, then essentially you'd need a locomotive at each end, one pulling from the front and the other one pushing from the back to get up to the required speed. But then that 16-long train might split into two 8-long trains in order to go to two different regional cities, like Brick Nottingham. And in that case, the 8-long train would still have two ends, but it would only need one of them to have an engine in it. And therefore, we've got all of this wasted space in the other end. So a train company would use that for additional seating. So a cab car is essentially the cabin that allows the train to be driven in the other direction for the way back, but also some seating in the back. Now, I've done this conversion for two previous trains, 60051, the fast passenger train, and you can see in that I've got all the seating up to right behind the cabin, and also 60197, where we've done the same sort of thing, but with a bit of a gap in between, so we can accommodate this wonderful sort of transition in all of the colours. So I like both of those very much. So that's what we're going to be trying to do here today. Now, I do want to keep this wonderful arrow logo, not just the stickered piece, but these kind of triangular pieces as well, which give it the sort of arrow that's pointing the way it's going. I really like that. But that doesn't give us very much space to fit additional seating in behind it. So what I'm also going to try and do is push that arrow just a little bit forward to give us, well, at least one double table worth of seating. Now, this thing doesn't have power functions in it because I didn't add it in the first place. So I'm also going to show you how to make a dummy motor out of, well, largely pieces you've already got, but a few more. And then I'm also going to hopefully make a few changes to this rather large lime area, which I'm not a massive fan of, including changing the windows because I'm not a fan of those either. And I've already added a female driver for this end. Obviously it won't be driven in both ends at the same time, but I never like leaving a seat unoccupied on one of my trains, so maybe she's having a bit of training in the wrong direction while they're going along. Cool, so I think the first thing to do is to show you all the pieces that we're going to be using today, and then we can get on with, well, stripping down this second unit in order to provide a base for our cab car. Good. Well, here are all the parts that I'm going to be using today, and they're all in the parts list in the description of this video, but it's always nice to see them laid out, I think, just so you know what you're after. And some are harder to get than others, including these 4 lime plain windows, which I think actually came from a helicopter. Don't worry if you can't get your hands on those, they aren't essential by any means, but if you do manage to get them, then you won't need 8 of the regular windows, you'll only need 4 because you'll be liberating a 4 from the original, from the cab car and the locomotive. Cool. Great, well there is the second locomotive, fully stripped down, and we've just left the white brick level there, a couple of these lime panels, nothing left on the inside, and only the motor removed from the underside. And that motor will need replacing, so it looks right when it's going around, even though it won't have power from this direction. And that's where this little build comes in, that largely uses pieces that you've stripped off your powered up motor. But in addition to that, you'll need parts that are in the description of this video, 2 1x10 Technic bricks, a 4x10, 4x10 and 4x6 plate. And then on top of all of that, a bogey plate. And you can add as many Technic bits to the underside as you want to give it a bit of strength. And then when I add all the parts that do come with the set, we'll have something that looks exactly the same in every way as the one that is powered. So they'll look very much the same on the bottom half. So wheels in, side details on, buffer on, and then you'll see when I put that into there, that looks exactly the same as that one on the back, and that's the look we're going for. So same dimensions, same details and everything. Great, so now we can start building up the cab. Right, so next I'm going to do the section behind the cab here, where I'm going to try and replicate all of this detail that we really like whilst keeping as much room on the back as possible. And before we had a section of 12 long of panels, well now I'm just going to add a 2 long panel to the 4 we've got to make a 6 long section. So instead of having this sort of 12 long studs on the side section, I'm going to have this really diddy one, which is only 6 studs long, which has all of the important stuff, being the triangular shapes and the sticker, and just a few of these grill pieces kind of mounted like that. And I think that'll keep everything we need with nothing we don't. So in order to mount that, I'm just going to make a bit of a tower of 2x4 bricks in lime, 2x4 plate in white, and a 2x2. Then I can add one of the brackets we already had into that section. I'm going to do it there, so we can basically mount our new section on there like that. And that's got everything we like, albeit a bit more pushed to that direction. And we've got all of this space for seating now. So I'm going to do the other side of that, and then we can move on to the next bit. Right, so that's the side bit added to both sides. And I think they look really good. And it also decreases slightly the amount of lime that we've got compared with the original, which is no bad thing in my opinion. And I've started adding some of the plates like you'd get in the regular carriages to take the seating and the table. So I'll just add those in as per usual. I'm also going to add in the 2 blue round 1x1 bricks into the ends as per the usual carriages. And I'm also going to add in the kind of little luggage rack opposite those seats as well, so we can see that through the window. I think that'll all be very nice. Then we can add on most of the normal back section that we just stripped off the original. Very good. And then we can fill in our new wall. So we're going to have a 6 long plate and a 3 long, and then a tower of 2 1x1 bricks for kind of a pillar, before adding in 4 window pieces on both sides. Now you could add a door into this section at the back of this, but it's quite short as it is already, what with keeping all of this detail. So given that the next carriage will be here and I'll have a door just through there, I figured that I would have people exit this section by going into the next carriage and coming out of the door that would be here, rather than cramming a door into this rather small section already. I did mock it up in LDD, Lego Digital Design, as you can see here, and it does mean that we have to move the pillar to the other side of the door, and I just think it looks a little bit more cramped, if you ask me. You may be of a different opinion, in which case you can add one of those, and that door build is included on my double-decker car video, so that's fine if you want to do that. And then we've got 1x8s for the black stripe, and one of those arch pieces as well in there, and then we can just pin that onto there with one of those like the normal carriages as well. So that's the next level, looking good. Next we just need to enclose the roof, so we just need to use the 1x3s that we stripped off the original build and some 6 long tiles which are new to there. Also stripped off the original build is that tile. Then we can add the new large lime plate onto this front section that will remain kind of permanently fixed in place, and a tile there just for the side view when we look at it like that. And then this will be the removable roof section, quite a sort of small diddy one, but quite fun nonetheless. So we'll have some 1x8 plates there, and then another roof section and our kind of back roof section. Now I've pulled all the pantograph and all that off this cab car, because although I do have it on some of my other ones, it isn't strictly correct. This doesn't have power in it, so it wouldn't have a pantograph. So therefore I just want to add the curved slope like in the regular carriages onto here. I've kind of got a pantograph fixation, which is why I've added it to the other ones, but this time I decided to do it correctly. So anyway, there is our cab car, and it looks really good and in keeping with our regular carriages. in that the end is the same, all the stripe levels are the same, the back end is entirely the same, and it also ties in with our original thing very well, and that we've got all the same detailing there, but with this additional seating. So you'll have to tell me what you think of that before we do some changes to the windows on maybe this one and this one. Now both of these end units have still got some issues if you ask me. I may come back to addressing the cockpits on a future video, but they've also got issues with the sides. Now, one of the good things about the amendment we've already done is pushing this bit forward has removed the 2x4 tile that was in lime that still remains on this one. And I think it's good that we've reduced the amount of lime in this profile. So what I'm going to do to the locomotive is do the same thing. Push all of these tiles up by 2, creating a gap at the back, which I'm just going to fill with 4 more of these grill pieces. And I think that'll reduce the amount of lime on this one, but also make them look a bit more similar because, well, they aren't exactly the same anymore, of course. In addition to that, I'm going to change this window. I don't like the fact that it's square. I don't like the fact that it's partially blocked by something on the inside. And I think it's a little too far back. If it's for the driver, I think it really needs to be here so they could at least peer through it when leaning. So I'm going to use these plain windows in lime with the trans black glass on the back. And I'm going to put those in there where I think they'll be a lot better on both this end and that one. So let me do both of those 2 amendments and we'll see how they look. Oh, ho, ho, look at that. I do think that looks a lot better with that window. It's just a better shape with those slightly curved corners and a much better position and kind of a lower profile as well. It looks a lot more professional in my opinion. And then on the other side, it looks better as well. And I do think that with all of this moved up and slightly more grill pieces at this end, it looks, well, more in keeping with the one that we've just modified. I wouldn't necessarily do that change in isolation of having the cab car, but with it, I think it helps with them being exactly the same. And if we just compare that with the before position, you can see, well, with the windows, there's absolutely no contest if you ask me. So yeah, that's a really good change. I'm very happy with it. I'm definitely going to do the other side as well. Back in the Lego room, and the cab car is on the end of the train, looking absolutely great, I must say. Like it was part of the original set, I think, with that additional seating, new tiles on the side, and that all-important new window, which really makes it, if you ask me. Yeah, much improved. So no pantograph on that end because the locomotive is at this end with its new window and side tiles, looking good as well. And its lights are on because it's going to be off around the city, Brick Nottingham. And at the moment I've got 2 single carriages that come with the second set and the 2 double-decker carriages I did last time. I am planning to do more changes to this train in future videos, including making all of the carriages double-decker height in the same format. And I have had quite a few suggestions about making the double-decker carriages all uniform height without the glass roofs being curved at the front and back. But, you know, I kind of figure that it's a lot more interesting the way it is, even if it is less realistic, having that up-down look. So I'm going to have them all doing that sort of observation car kind of look. Yeah, really liking those changes that we've made today. But if you can think of any additional changes that I should be making to this train, or if you think if there's something I've missed, then do let me know. But yeah, I'm really loving that. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing a brick haul on Wednesday, getting loads of new parts for new projects. And then on Friday, well, we'll be doing one of those new projects, I guess. So until all of that, see you